go ahead on live on TikTok, and we shall be good to go. Let me go ahead and. All right, let's take a look.
Yeah, I don't. Where I'm at, I don't got two tables. I got my computer set up on this little tiny table for it to be this height. So let me see if I can do this. Hopefully this will work.
All right, all right. We're gonna go ahead and let me know when you're ready, because I see you doing your thing with that position, huh?
I might have to get off the IG thing, man, and just do this.
Oh, you fine right there. Good.
My head is chopped off.
Yeah, but yeah, there you go. There you go.
But when you say your new band is R&B, is that like R&B like love songs? Like what's the
Neo soul, you know what I'm saying? There's different vocalists, so it's just not me. You know what I
okay, so
mean?
like a
Yeah,
collective.
so it's different. So yeah, they handle that. I handle the, you know how I do. I handle that part of it. So all right, we got everything worked out now. You know what I'm saying? Another wonderful night. Thank y'all for watching. Please press that like button and share this. And this, as always, we're gonna have, I try to bring on phenomenal individuals as much as consistent as I can, and I definitely have a phenomenal individual with us today. And as you all know, and if you don't know, Polka Dot Rabbit podcast is here to uplift humanity. You know what I mean? But especially awaken and assist in awakening the woolly-haired, melanated zombies that are finally starting to wake up around the planet. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here for. Good information for the people that are conscious and aware to understand where we are in this matrix, this paradigm, and etc. You know, and let me do like you did, Chris. Fix my joint, and that's why we're here. You know what I'm saying? Of course, always, if you haven't already, please pick up the book, polkadotrabbitpodcast.com. Bicultural living and living the world of illusions. People always ask me, you know, why I'm able to deal with a lot of different subjects and subject matters is because, and I put it in this book. I've traveled around the world, I've met a whole bunch of different people, different places, and and I've cultivated that. You know what I mean, to be able to deal with life. So, Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast, please like, follow, share this information. Also, my brother. That's it for me. I'm gonna let my good brother Chris, and just so you know, I met this brother back in the Afro punk days when I was rocking. We met up. I think it was I can't remember what the show was, but I remember we linked up and met, and we were rocking out somewhere in New York. Yeah,
I
I think it was.
think we met, if I'm not mistaken, you came to New York or something to do a show.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a show too, or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. But Creature had put
Creature.
something
That's right.
together from Rebel,
Yeah, that's it.
right? My brother Creature from Rebelmatic, and
Mm-hmm.
my son Primo was playing. He was playing bass for Rebelmatic,
Mm-hmm.
right? No, yeah, he was playing bass for Rebelmatic. Also, my rest in peace to my surrogate son Sticks. Rest in
Oh
peace,
yeah, rest in peace, Sticks.
the drummer for Rebelmatic.
I remember that good brother, man.
And then I was coming out to Virginia a lot, so I hit you up and be like, "Yo, yo, yo, what's good?" And then I hit you up when I was out in Virginia, and I think we linked up, and I might have came to see a show or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
She was rocking with at the time, right? Amon
Indeed.
band, right?
I'm on nine. Yep.
Amon with the band, brother. And I really like the music. I really like the vibe. And so we've been cool ever since, trying to figure
Mm-hmm.
out we need to do something together. What's going on? What's going on? And life takes us on twists and turns, and umpteenth years later, here we are,
Here
still
we
breathing.
are.
I'm saying a lot of people didn't make it. Rest in peace.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. And yeah, please tell the people what you done now. This brother right here, I'm telling you, he's done a lot of things. He got a lot of, he's like an octopus, man. He got his tentacles all over the place, man. So go ahead, please tell the people, who describe who you, and let them know who you are, what you do, and then we'll start getting to the meat, well, not the meat potatoes. You know what I'm saying? I say the veggie wrap and potatoes. So not even potatoes, kale chips.
Hey man, well
No, sea moss. How about that?
the CMOS, yeah, that's the CMOS. We're gonna get to the CMOS right now. So yo, my name is Chris Black America. Everybody calls me Black America that knows me, man. I've been around for a minute, man. I've been through many different phases and recreations of myself, man. From teeny bopper writing graffiti in New York, break dancing, wilding out, running the streets, dancing in clubs, fashion, the music industry, traveling around the world, politics. I done tapped into it all. The cannabis business on a grand scale. I've done it all. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm focused on now, though, in my life is no longer really music. I mean, I had music projects that I worked on, bands. I had a hardcore rock band, black consciousness, black power. The name of the band was Black America. And that's kind of how I got my name. And from that point on, I just held on to that name. And as I began to travel around the world, I understood that it was representational of what it is that I come to represent. And it's not necessarily just focused on Black America, but when I would travel around the world and people would talk about what they liked about America, it was always Black America that they liked. They really didn't come up with nothing outside of that paradigm. They like the way people dance. They like the music. They like the way people dress. They like the way people talk. They like hip hop. And every last bit of that is Black America. Even half of the things that America is known for for its greatness was created by Black people in America.
Actual
So
fact.
I carry that name because I wanted to represent those people on a higher level. And I wanted to carry that name so that I could walk those people through the new paradigm of elevation and transformation. And probably about 20 something years ago, I mean, I've always been into consciousness. Even before I even heard of a conscious community, I've been studying most of my life, metaphysics, mathematics, politics. I've been debating since I was a little kid. So, as I became older and I realized the relevance of these things that I had learned, I began to apply them to different things that I was involved in real time as I traveled through my travels in life. And, 20 something years ago, I met Queen Afua and Queen Afua's family. I became associated with her sons, and I've done some music, a few songs with the brother Supernova Slum. Shout out to my brother Supernova Slum and Ali the Great, and salute to the Queen, for all the work that she does. I came into contact with that family, and I began to walk on that path myself of holistic health. I began to learn all about, juicing and, vegan lifestyle, herbology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, even though I was already into those things somewhat, but I never really took it serious. And then once I met them and I saw, wow, the true benefits of how it can help out people, all the things that Queen was doing to help people and save lives. Then I got across and, got to, meet Dr. Sabi and, attend some of his lectures. And, now one of my sisters works for, my Sabi here in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm still affiliated with Queen Afua's family. And, this took me on a completely different journey. My mom got sick, and I was able to help my mother and other family members and loved ones with some of this knowledge. I really, really began to take it serious. Even before that, I have an elder who was, on that holistic path as well. And he's the one who enlightened me to the powers of CMOS. I learned
Yeah.
about CMOS from a brother named Denroy Morgan back in the 90s, man. Maybe, matter of fact, it was really the late 80s. I got to meet Denroy Morgan, the singer, the father, the big head of the Morgan heritage family.
Mm-hmm.
He invited me to his house. We had met on a video shoot, and he took a liking to me, I guess. And it was myself and one of my best friends, and he invited us to his house, and we went to his house for dinner. And at this dinner, I was blown away by what I saw, because this
Mm-hmm.
was a real king, a true king in the
Mm-hmm.
modern world. He had
Yeah.
4 wives, at the time, and I believe at that time he had either 21 or 25 children or something like that, and they were all, moving together. And he
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
businesses. Some of them were making music. They had construction business, real estate. They was doing all kinds of stuff, man. And they were all working as a cohesive unit, and it really,
Mm.
it captivated me. So when I
Mm-hmm.
asked the brother, I said, "Yo, how do you possibly get the energy to maintain all of this?" And you know what he said to me? He said, "The
Mm.
sea moss, brother. It's the sea moss." And I was like, "What is that?" And then he said, "You never had sea moss?" I said, "No." And so he had one of his daughters whip me up some sea moss. I drank the sea moss. It was delicious. It just tastes like a vanilla shake to me.
Mm-hmm.
But on that night, when I went home, I found that I had a lot of energy. When I was laying with my lady, and I was just like, wow, whatever that was, I need more of that. And so I began to
That's
drink.
working.
It worked. And so I began to drink sea moss every time I went to a West Indian restaurant, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really taking it serious. And then probably maybe about 30 years ago, I used to be heavy into action sports. And I met an older guy who was into roller skating and rollerblading and all that stuff. And this guy was like a dynamo. And at that time, when I was 25 or 27, and this guy was, in his, I guess he was probably maybe almost 50 at the time. And to me, that was old. So I was just like, wow, old timer. Like, how do you get all this energy? This guy would have like 3 or 4 girlfriends all hanging out with him at the same time. And, this guy was smaller than me. I'm 5'7". I weigh 150 pounds. This guy probably was like 5'4" and weighed
Mm-hmm.
maybe like 120, 125 pounds. And he was rolling around with a 40-pound weight vest on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 20-pound weights on each arm and weight, I mean, on each leg, and 10-pound weights on each hand. And he was like that every time I saw him, always rolling around like that. You know what I mean? And he would be selling CMOS and making these big gallons of CMOS, and he'd be selling it in the Central Park to all the skaters. And he told me, yo, brother, if you really, really want to keep your stamina up and you want longevity in this life, you really need to get into this CMOS. And he
Mm-hmm.
had cured himself from cancer,
Mm.
and he had also cured himself of some other ailments that he had when he transitioned into his holistic health lifestyle. And
Mm-hmm.
his testimonials were right and exact, because I had met a whole bunch of different people who he had helped out and who were
Mm-hmm.
also on that holistic path at that time. So it really enlightened me to the holistic lifestyle. And once I, had gotten injured a few times doing all these crazy stunts, I began to use some of these, regiments to heal myself.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in life, probably around the year 1999 or 2000, when I met,
Mm-hmm.
Queen Afua and their family, and I saw the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that she had helped.
Yeah.
I was really blown away by the truth of what the lifestyle could manifest. I mean, she was bringing people back from the brinks of death, and I had
Yeah.
personally met women who are extremely obese. They could barely
Mm-hmm.
walk. They were just ratchet, and through that path, I learned how the things that we eat affects us psychologically,
Yeah.
mentally, emotionally. I really began to really, really understand. When I read her book, Heal Thyself,
Mm-hmm.
and I became, kind of like a follower of that path.
Yeah.
And I'm a human being, so we, excuse me, we tap in and out, we go in and out, we do our thing, blah blah blah. But I never really really left that path. I was able to help mates that I was dealing with heal themselves from fibroid
Mm-hmm.
tumors.
Yeah.
My own mom from cancer twice. You know, myself from different injuries. You know, other people that I would come into contact with, and you know, down after I was able to help my mom out and really, you know, take it really, really serious, then I began to make it and sell it, you know, out in the street at different festivals and things like that. And then probably about 10 years ago, I got extremely serious with it, and I started my own business where I was really making and selling CMOS, and you know, it was part of my how I was sustaining myself. And you know, um, it's a path that I deem extremely worthy. You know, I know that it's something that we really really need as a people. The whole
Mm-hmm.
world needs it, but us as a people especially need it. We need to get off of the drugs, the
Mm-hmm.
pharmaceuticals, stay out the hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
stay off the vaccines, and just really really live a holistic healthy lifestyle. Then
Mm-hmm.
your systems will operate at a level where you won't need those things, you know, because the
Exactly.
body was designed to heal itself. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really the premise of what Queen of Fool was talking about when she said heal
Mm-hmm.
thyself. That it's really up to you and how you
Yeah.
what you ingest. And when we
Mm-hmm.
speak about ingesting, we don't just mean what you eat and drink. It's
Mm-hmm.
also, you know, what you breathe, you know, what you wear, what you
Mm-hmm.
put on your skin, what you
Mm.
listen to, what you look
Mm-hmm.
at, how you process thought and information, and how you interact with people. You know what I mean? This is all
Yeah.
part of consuming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have a personal testimony, man, because something similar happened to me. You know, somebody was, yeah, I used to always hear about CMOS, CMOS, CMOS. You know what I'm saying? And one time, I got a big bag of it, put it in the water, let it sit there, let it get up. You know, blended it up, and I started putting my smoothies. I'm telling you, man, that's that thing changed my like. I fell in love with it. No,
Mhm.
literally, CMOS. I fell. I mean, it was because the feeling it made me had. You know, the energy it gave me. You know what I mean? It that stuff is so true, man. If y'all people out there have not heard of CMOS, you need to get CMOS in your diet. And holler at this brother because I already know he got some CMOS. You know what
Holla
I'm
at me,
saying?
man.
But
Get at me.
yeah,
Get at
yeah,
me.
yeah. His all the information is in a link. How you can contact him. But everything he's saying, man, I can, definitely back that up because I had my personal testimony about CMOS as well. So how was your whole? I know you said like what was the process of you like being like I need to get this CMOS. I need to get it to the people. How did that go?
You know, like I said, once you know, my mom was going through the stuff that she was going through, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and and I actually saw it work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I had used it on myself, and I had used it
Mm-hmm.
on the sister that I was dealing with. You know, we were drinking sea
Mm-hmm.
moss and juicing, and you know, we did Queen of Fua's program at the time. You know, when we first met, that was one of the stipulations of us getting into the relationship, was that it had to be focused on being healthy.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you love someone and you're in a relationship with them, you don't want to be healthy and they be unhealthy. That doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
sense,
That don't
because then
make no
you're
sense.
pushing them around in a wheelchair and you
Mm-hmm.
need to be out enjoying life. So
Mm-hmm.
my focus is I'm not pushing nobody in no wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you ain't gonna be healthy, I can't rock with you.
Yeah.
So
Real
that's what
talk.
it is. You know, I don't got time for that. You know, so once I was able to assist myself in healing and
Mm-hmm.
assist the sister that I was with in healing, then I was like, you know what? I did a lot of research, a lot of study, and I just was really, really heavy into it,
Mm-hmm.
using it for different things like the skin, the hair, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You know, helping regrowing hair. You know, I mean, one the sister that I was dealing with, she was having extreme issues with her hair, so the
Mm-hmm.
CMOS help with the hair. She also
Mm.
turned me on to some things like Jamaican black castor oil, and
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
were making all kinds of, you know, infusions and treatments and taking baths, and you know, it was a whole lifestyle. So I knew
Mm.
that this would help my mom. And so
Mhm.
once we really convinced her to apply it, within 30 days, my mom had found out that she had cancer in her breast, right?
Mhm.
And she was panicking. You know, she was a real
Mhm.
panicker. She went crazy for the most
Mhm.
part. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
took my sisters and me and some other family members to convince her as well as the doctors that she was dealing with, because she was actually dealing with one of Dr. Sabi's best friends here in New York City, who's not only was he a medical doctor, but he was also a holistic health practitioner.
Yeah.
You know, there was a few, because my mom was part of the conscious community, and I actually at the time. So I had been introduced by my sister and my mom to all these people in the conscious community, and so I became associated with them. So as I would run around to her doctor's appointments with her, to regular, you know, Eurocentric doctors, but also to the holistic doctors as well, they would all be telling her, "Why don't you just listen to your son?"
Yeah.
And eventually, everybody convinced her to listen to me, and then she allowed me to help her, and I had to go live in her house with her for 30 days and make sure every single day, several times a day, that she took my concoctions and she only ate and drank what it is that I gave her. And literally, when she went back to the doctor 30 days later, they found 0 traces of cancer. And the diabetes that she had for 30 years was gone.
Gone, yeah.
She stopped taking the medication that she was taking for diabetes. She stopped taking all medication. And she was convinced, wow, okay, you know, but then a short time later, she actually she went back to slipping with the diet.
Relapse.
And the lifestyle. And really for her, it wasn't even so much the diet. It was that my mom was a very stressed out person, and she was heavy into drama. And so different drama that occurred in the family, she would be at the forefront of all of it. And to the point where she was, you know, an elder. So she was freaking herself out. And this drama was causing her physical illness. So some years later, maybe, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years later, she pops up again with the same issues. And so me saying to her, like, listen, last time I helped you, and you know, she was like, yeah, well, you know, how do we know that that's what was it was that made the cancer go away? And I'm just like, what are you talking about? That's the only thing that you were doing. You know what I'm saying? So lo and behold, they convinced me again to go back and do the same thing again. We did the same thing again. Boom. And then sometime later, they found that, you know, whoop, the cancer was going again. Now it's come on, it got to be etched in stone that this actually works. So I was fully convinced, and she was convinced too. But being an old lady, she was, you know, old ladies are subjected to fear and panic, you know, and she allowed the white doctors to convince her that, well, yeah, the cancer's gone, but you should have surgery anyway, just to be sure that it doesn't come back. So me having knowledge of how the body works, because I did go to medical school and graduated from medical school, that's not how cancer works. There's no surgery that you can get that will cure you from cancer. All they're going to do is cut off your body part. And they don't tell people this, but they know that there's no surgery that you can get for cancer, because cancer is something that grows in your body naturally. That's like saying you can get a surgery to fix your blood. It's impossible, because you have blood recreating itself constantly throughout your existence. So you're not going to do something to stop something from happening that you're consistently causing to happen. So you getting a surgery is cutting off a body part, which would probably cause cancer, because you're giving your body trauma. And what you need to do is just heal yourself and change your behavior. And, you know, our people are so anti-change. We have an issue with change and transforming and doing something different. And this is what causes a lot of our issues. You know, we have serious issues with change.
Yeah, I agree.
So she was reluctant to change. So she decided to go with these surgeries, and the surgeries caused her great harm. And so some years later, cancer came back again. And when cancer came back again, she decided that she didn't want to fight it anymore. She was tired, and she didn't even want to be here anymore. She was ready to go to be in the ancestral realm and to, you know, go on and see what was next. And she was very serious about that. And, you know, we tried everything we could to convince her out of it, but she was like, no, I had enough. I did my time. I had a great
Mm-hmm.
life. I love all my family. I got a wonderful family, all my children, grandchildren, blah, blah, blah. And she decided that she wanted to make her transformation, and that's what she did, you know.
Mm.
But in the process of it all, I learned a lot. And I
Yeah.
learned, you know, through trial and error and through, you know, actual experience, how things work, you know, what to do, what not to do, and you know, how to behave so that that type of reality doesn't befall me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I try the best I can to stay as calm as I possibly can. And I'm a very
Yeah.
high person, so that's not that easy. But as I get older, you know, I'm 58 years old at this point in time, and you know, I understand how this thing works. You know, if you
Yeah.
don't,
Exactly.
they say if you don't use it, you lose it.
You
So
lose
you
it.
really,
Yeah.
really, really have to keep and maintain up your regimen of holistic health and
Mm.
youthful practices. So what we do a lot of times, we try to, you know, to cheat on everything. And this is an
Mm-hmm.
issue that Black people have: laziness. You
Yeah.
know, psycho spiritual laziness is one of our issues. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And you know, I try not to be hard on our people, but I try to be as honest as I possibly can.
Yeah.
That's why we're so heavy into religion, because religion is a cheat code, is a way to cheat,
Cheat
even though
code.
it's
Yeah.
not really a way to cheat, and religion has never saved anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to do that because it makes it, well, if I do this, then this will take care of all of that, and I don't actually have to be responsible. I don't have to
Exactly.
do anything. Let my belief take care of it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's never, you know, I mean, we've been on this plantation for hundreds of years, and that belief has never saved anybody. You know, we've
Mm-mm.
been lynched, burned, praying, and all of that, and it
Same
hasn't saved,
outcome.
haven't saved anyone.
Same outcome.
So
So now.
I'm against people believing what they believe,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to understand that if you do believe in the Creator created you and
Mm-hmm.
gave you the power of decision to
Yeah.
determine what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, and you have to use that to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
As
with you.
we
I'm with you.
also say, you know, the Creator gave you all of the plants and herbs on the planet to heal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah. So what on the scientific side, what is it that they say that the sea moss is what it does? You know what I'm saying? What has anybody kind of ever broke it down to see why it's so effective?
Well, a lot of people break it down,
Uh-huh.
and Dr. Sebi described it as an electric food. It's
Mm.
charged with minerals and it's charged with
Mm.
electricity, and it rebuilds your cells.
Mm.
Cellular food and cellular
Okay.
rejuvenation. And you know, if you ever been to the ocean, you know, you would understand that the ocean is a very powerful force. Matter of fact, the
Mm-hmm.
earth itself is basically the ocean. There's
Mm-hmm.
more ocean than there is land. So
Yeah.
we are actually breathing in a form of water because we
Mm-hmm.
live on a liquid planet. And
Yep.
so all the things that come out of the ocean are so enriched with minerals and power and force and energy
Mm.
that these things that come out of the ocean can really, really have a great impact on us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So even the air we breathe, all of the clouds that rain down the rain, that
Yeah.
waters the plants and the plant life that we ingest,
Mm-hmm.
you know, is benefited by the ocean. If it wasn't for the
Yeah.
water, that we wouldn't exist. We
Yeah.
come out of the water. We live in the water in our mother's womb in her
Mm-hmm.
water for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
So this CMOS offers the rebuilding and the rejuvenation of your cells, of you on a cellular.
Mm.
So for me, for instance, what I did one time, I had cut off my fingertips by some crazy accident. You
Mm.
know, some glass. I cut tips of my fingers off. So
Hey.
through herbs and you know, drinking juices and CMOS, literally, I grew the tips of my fingers back. I mean, literally, to this day, I still have like a little hard piece here and a hard piece there. But like literally, when I cut my fingertips, there was two chunks on the floor, and it was literally like a half inch out of one and a quarter of inch out of the other, and it was sitting on the floor in front of me. I picked it up and
Mm-hmm.
I tried to put it back on with the bandage, everything. And for like 6 months, I was walking around with my whole fingers bandaged up, and it just kept falling off. So eventually, I just had to give up. But what I did was through my consciousness and just
Mm-hmm.
exercises and qigong exercises and the ingesting of different minerals and herbs, literally my fingertips grew back. You know, as I begin to get older, and sometimes being in relationships and just going through life, you begin to get stressed out. I've always been an athletic and a progressive, physically progressive person. Even though I'm a small frame person, I've always been highly energetic and highly motivated. And so I learned that I had the power to recreate and regrow limbs through that process. You know what I'm saying? And this is just through, books that I read, intensive study, that I learned that we had those abilities. And so I was like, yo, I'm gonna put this to the test. You know what I'm saying? So as I began to get a little bit older, I started seeing that my hair was turning gray. I'm not gonna say arrogant, but I like myself a lot. So I was just like, I don't want to be old looking, and I'm definitely not trying to have all my hair falling out because I don't think I look very good with a bald head. So, my hairline started to recede. My hairline was starting to recede in the front and even here in the corners. And my hair was starting to turn gray. So I was just like, yo, you know what? I have to do something about this. So I began to consciously, through breathing exercises and through eating different foods and ingesting a lot of SeaMoss, as well as using Jamaican black castor oil and other, healthy things to make it so that my hair stopped turning gray. Literally, reverse the graying of my hair. I do not use chemicals. People are like, oh, you must be. I got friends, man, that's 10, 15 years younger than me. And they're like, yo, you got to be putting something in your hair. You must be coloring your hair. I'm so anti-hair coloring. I don't use chemicals at all. I don't even use toothpaste. I don't even use regular soap. I don't deal with chemicals at all. You know what I'm saying? The only soap I use is African black soap or things of that nature. And I brush my teeth with Ayurvedic powder and special herbal stuff. You know what I'm saying? So even through the herbs, I stop my teeth from falling out and from breaking off. You know what I'm saying? So this lifestyle is a real one. And then I chalk up, the fact that I even have the amount of energy that I have to continue to keep going to the SeaMoss. And that's I put my life on that.
Yeah.
I put my life in his
I
hand.
can see that.
Serious. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm 58 and I'm rocking and rolling, man. And I have one of my elders who's also a very, dynamic brother tell me, I think now he got to be like probably going on 78, right? And this guy is very, very youthful looking. He's diesel, in shape, muscular. And when everybody's just like, oh man, wow, you don't look your age. He said him and his twin brother, this is my uncle Tahaka, one of my surrogate uncles, this is actually what 75 is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not supposed to be deteriorating at that age. We're supposed to live into the hundreds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least
Real talk.
you know what I'm saying? And I have met elders who are in their 80s. I got one of my other elders. This is my Baba Jiwe. This man is 82 years old, still riding his bike, working out, playing music, jamming out. He's the New York state coordinator for the Pan-African Federalist Movement, traveling back and forth to Jamaica on a regular basis. If you see this man is shining, glowing.
Yeah.
His face is tight. He's muscular and tight. When he shakes your hand, it's a firm handshake. You know what I'm saying? If he catch you with that right hook, you go into sleep.
It's a wrap.
You know what I'm saying? Man is 82 years old.
That's interesting. Both my senseis, that they're both in their 70s, and I always think, and one of them still eats McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? He could still do splits and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? He does not look his age at all. And I always say to myself, imagine if he actually had a good diet. You know what I'm saying? And
that's the
what
training.
you're saying is so true, man, because a lot of us we don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't know what to eat. So we just goddamn fall apart. You know what I'm saying? At a certain age, it's gone.
It's the training, man. For his salvation is the training. If he was just eating Mickey,
exactly.
probably be on a walker. But it's that training, the fact that he's
Yep.
still training and his circulation, because this is what life is all about. Life is about circulation. There's nothing in existence that is still. Everything is in motion. So you can even take a rock and break a piece off and put it under a microscope. You're going to see motion. Everything that is in existence has to remain in motion. So you as a human being, if you do not remain in motion, then you start to break down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why when people go into the hospital, they get bed sores and they got to keep flipping you over. Because if you stay still too long, your body starts to die.
Yeah.
Your cells start to die. So you have to stay in motion. You have to keep moving. So along with the CMOS, of course, you have to have an exercise regimen. You can't just be healthy and expect to be resilient and strong. You may not be sick, but you're going to be frail. So that's why I tell everybody who I come in contact with, you know, not only do you have to eat healthy, you have to have that CMOS in your diet. You have to have herbs in your diet. You have to fast occasionally. You definitely have to be juicing, drinking your water, coconuts, coconut water, etc., etc. And you have to stay away from poison. Poison meaning white sugar, cigarettes, you know, fake food, meat. You know what I mean? McDonald's and all that kind of stuff. And
all that kind of crazy food.
You have to eat meat. Make sure that the meat that you're eating is at least some kind of organic, you know, farm meat. It's not some manufactured stuff pumped up with color and dye, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? And if you're eating fast food, you're not eating meat. You don't know what you're eating. You could be eating homeless people. You know what I'm saying?
Real time. Remember,
that's real.
That's a good point, man.
You don't know what you're eating because it's been tested that the stuff they put in McDonald's is not actually meat.
Not meat. Yeah.
So eating you're poisoning yourself.
I'm gonna shift gears a little bit, man, because I pride myself, you know what I'm saying, in the fact that I've traveled the world seeing different places. I'm gonna tell you, this brother right here, we have many a conversation. He don't know on the other end of our conversations, but my jaw be dropping, man. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the different places he's gone and the different people's experience and all these different things, man. And this is one of the brothers that personally was showing me like the connection between Sierra Leone and was it South Carolina? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Galageechi.
Galageechi. So I was just sitting there listening to him because I heard stuff about it before, but the brother was breaking down the connection. But the thing is interesting about that he knew more about that because he went there and back numerous times. So please walk us through how. First off, you were like, yo, why Sierra Leone? Why'd you go there? You know what I'm saying? What did you find out? What did you learn? Why you keep going back? Please, break it down.
Well, this was actually a gift that was bestowed upon me. And I believe that it was by our ancestors. I had, I'm a traveler, man. So I travel constantly. I've been traveling probably since I was about 20-something years old. You know what I mean? I was blessed to be gifted with the experience of leaving the United States of America. And I ain't stopped leaving since. So I try to be going in the wintertime as much as I possibly can. I don't like the cold, the concrete, the snow. So I try to be somewhere beautiful. And probably about 15 years ago or 16, I'm not really recalling exactly how, a sister that I was involved with, she was from Madagascar. So, I was blessed to travel with her back to Madagascar. And before we went to Madagascar, we went to Kenya. Kenya is the first place on the continent of Africa to ever touch down. And, it was so powerful for me because when I got off that plane and I walked outside of that airport, literally, and I say this literally, a voice whispered in my ear, "You're home, you safe, and you're free." And to the point where I turned around, literally turned around like, yo, like somebody walked up on me and said something in my ear to the point I could feel the breath in my ear. And when I turned around, there wasn't nobody there. And so it really stopped me in my tracks. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. And I got down on my knees and I kissed the ground. I walked around Nairobi, Kenya. I was blown away because it was everything that I thought it was going to be. It was beautiful. The people were beautiful. It wasn't, you know, it was my first time being in a country that everybody in the country was black.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because you go to the Caribbean, and the Caribbean is supposedly black countries, but the Caribbean, most Caribbean countries are maintained by the colonial
Hmm.
powers that be.
Hmm.
And it doesn't mean that there's not colonial influence in Africa, but Africa is run by Africans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It may
Yeah.
be misrun, but it's run by
Mhm.
Africans.
Yeah. I
All of
noticed when I went to the Caribbean, because like
Africans.
there's one when I was in the Caribbean, just to kind of go on your what you're saying, a local was I think I was in Jamaica. A local was driving us around everywhere, right? And it was this brand new, plush, beautiful part in the market, right? They just made it brand new, right? It's brand spanking new, painted white, and it was looking nice. The brother turned to me and said, he's like, "Yeah, that's brand new, but no Jamaicans can ever rent that spot." You know what I'm saying? They could, but when I was there, I just noticed I saw the Indians, I saw
Chinese.
Indians, Chinese people, and white people that were just running all the shops. And
Yeah.
as you can imagine, in my rookie stages of traveling, I'm like, "What the hell is this?"
That was one of my first experiences,
Yeah,
because I think the first place that I ever left the United States was to the Bahamas. I went to
yeah,
the Bahamas, right? So when I went to the Bahamas, I was blown away because I was just like, wow, this is amazing. You know, we're in a place, you know what I mean? It's a black country, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But all of the hotels and all of the beaches there that's pristine is owned, run and operated by white people. They
yeah,
own it all. They own all of the beaches. Maybe there might be some Indians there too and some Chinese there
hmm
too. But
yeah,
the Europeans owned all of the Caribbean.
yeah.
So they
Exactly,
colonized the
exactly.
Caribbean, and what they did was they put their other colonial slaves in charge of the African colonial
Hmm.
slaves.
Hmm.
The Asian, I mean the Asians, the
Hmm.
Indians, the Chinese were
Hmm.
also manhandled by the white man, and he
Hmm.
put them in charge of us in
Hmm.
all of these different islands. But when you go
Babysitters.
to Africa, that's not the case. Even though they may be there, but
Hmm.
they don't own it. That
Yeah,
it's owned by the ethnic groups.
yeah, yeah,
African ethnic groups own Africa.
yeah.
At least all of the black parts of Africa. There's parts of
Hmm.
North Africa that the Arabs have taken over, but all of the rest of Africa is run, owned, and operated by black people, except
Hmm.
for probably South Africa, and the South Africans is taking care of that as we speak. So,
Yeah.
it was just mind blowing to me to go to a place that's like, wow, the president's black, the vice
Hmm.
president's black, the first lady's black, the people on the newspapers black, the toothpaste box is black, everything was black, run, owned, and operated, and it was beautiful because the people was
Hmm.
really amazing and beautiful. The sisters were really beautiful. The brothers, everybody was strong, and the way people engaged with each other was something that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Because I saw a bus break down in the middle of rush hour, and everybody, instead of like in America, people be honking and complaining and bitching and spazzing out. Everybody got out of their vehicles. All the men got out of their vehicles and pushed the bus out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody clapped and everybody hugged each other and gave each other a pound. And
Hmm.
I was just like, wow, that's
Hmm.
dope. You know what I mean? How people work together because it's
Hmm.
their society. They're
It's
not
their,
part
it's, yeah, it's
of
their
their
stuff.
society.
Yeah.
Something has to go right. They have to maintain it.
Have to
It's
make it
not even
work.
up to them to be proactive in their
Hmm.
society.
Hmm.
Just like, in most places in Africa, if you try to steal something, the police, you lucky if the police get you,
Yeah.
because if they get you before the police get you, that's your ass.
Yeah. You mopped up. Yep.
More than likely they're gonna get you.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it 5 steps before they get your ass.
I don't, I
And they,
don't, I don't think people realize, and what you said is a good point. When it comes, like the word, once you travel the world and once you see different people of races, of different things all over the world, how truly different people are. You know what I'm saying? Down to the core. People be like, "Oh, everybody's the same in human stuff," but I'm gonna tell you, man, like it is a difference between the mindset from people around this place. It's a it's a big difference. You might not think it's a big difference, because especially if you don't see it, But the way people work together, the love they share, the way they open their arms. I mean, in America, you can walk in. What was that movie? Poetic Justice. Remember Tupac and Janet Jackson walked to the family reunion. They were, everything was cool. You think
Right.
that's embraces, man? They take in other places. They take that to multiply it by 20. And that's the truth, man.
That's a fact. And I'm gonna say
Yeah.
this. So this is what really like changed me as a human being.
Hmm.
So going to Kenya, it was just like, I mean, it was awe inspiring because they consider Nairobi as the melting pot of Africa. Nairobi,
Mm.
Kenya is kind of like the New York of Africa, supposedly. You know what I mean? I know that it's not the most conglomerate country in the continent. Nigeria is, but when it comes to the melting pot frequency,
Yeah.
Kenya, Nairobi has that. You got people from all over Africa living in Nairobi, and so Nairobi is kind of like New York,
Hmm.
Miami, and mixed together. It has a
Yeah.
Miami vibe, but
Hmm.
it moves at a New York pace, and it's very like
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
eclectic, and they got a music scene, and
Hmm.
got fly cars, and it's like it's a beautiful place. So after that, we spend time in Madagascar. So what made me know that there's a difference, and that we Africans born here in America are missing something is we probably used to have this back in the days, like in the 50s and before. But since then, once we became, mixed in with everybody else, we
Hmm.
changed the perspective and became individualistic. But when you go
Yeah.
to Africa, literally everybody in this entire woman's family came from all around the entire country just to meet us at the airport.
Hmm.
We talking about aunties that came from hundreds of miles away. Ain't nobody doing that in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
They wait till you get to the house, and you're
Mhm.
lucky if some people show up. Maybe they'll show up on the holiday, but not just because you popped up. They came from all around the whole country just to meet us
Yeah.
at the airport.
Hmm.
And the way that they treated us, every step we took, somebody was there to put a cushion under it. And the guy that's
Yeah.
here and drove us all around the country. We traveled
Hmm.
around the country. They drove us all around the country, babysat us. People in America are too selfish to do stuff like that.
Yeah. I agree.
So one thing about Africans that they will love you for real. They love you in a different way.
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, that was my first experience, interacting in Africa. So, I think it was about 8 years ago, right? The same elder that I was telling you about that was Diesel, Uncle Tahaka, right? Him and his twin brother, rest in tranquility, Tunde, they were invited by a paramount chief to come to Sierra Leone, back in the days when Kanye West made the Diamonds Are Forever song, right?
Hmm.
After the Blood Diamonds movie and all of that, there was a big movement, right, to rebuild Sierra Leone. So he contacted them at the time. He was an engineer at Boeing, living in America, and when his father passed away, he had to return to Sierra Leone to take over his kingdom. So he invited these brothers to come to Sierra Leone. One of the brothers passed away, and for some reason, this elder invited me to go with him. And I was shocked because I'm like, these guys got a big family. They got a lot of kids,
Hmm.
a lot of surrogate kids that come way before me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That they've known way before me, that they helped raise almost. And I was the new guy.
Yeah.
I've known them for some time now. And, they had love and respect for me, obviously. And, my son as well, who's a musician as well. But he said, no, I want you to go. And I was
Hmm.
just, why me? He said, because you're the one. And I
Mm.
really sat down and I thought about it, and I actually went and got a reading, and I was told, yo, you really, yeah, this is gonna mean something for you. At that time, I didn't know what that meant, So I was just like, yeah, we was going to try to buy some diamonds. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? So we get to
Mm.
Sierra Leone, man, and it was not what I thought, because Sierra Leone is not. It's a beautiful country, but it's not as modern
Yeah.
as Kenya and stuff like that. So I was just like, okay, this is cool. This is nice. The beaches are beautiful and all of that. But I was like, all right, this is awesome. But I was at first, the first week or two, I wasn't convinced like that.
Hmm.
But man, I'm gonna tell you, man, we was treated with so much love and
Yeah.
hospitality and admiration, and the red carpet rolled out for us that
Hmm.
literally by the third week, I couldn't even speak because I had never been treated so good before in my life by anybody. I'd
Yeah.
never been put on a pedestal this way before by anybody. I'd never been treated the way I was supposed to be treated before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I probably was, I think that was the year that I turned 50. And at 50 years old, you know, I'm gonna just keep it a buck, right? We could talk. I could talk.
Oh,
You know, I'm just a nigga from New York.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That's why you look at yourself.
From the hood, even though, you know, I carry myself with respect and dignity, and et cetera, et cetera. But in America, you just another nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So at 50 years old, you get on the bus, nobody's giving up and giving you no seat because you're a man. Unless you're real old and frail, and these days they don't even do that.
Yeah, might not even do that now.
Old lady, they're not gonna get up and give you a seat because those things have been lost. But they wouldn't let me carry my own bag because I was older than them. We're talking about 40 years olds and 30 years olds and 20 years olds revering me. So I had never been treated like that before, outside of my own maybe nieces and nephews or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't even act like that. You got to tell them, get up and give your uncle or your auntie a seat.
Yeah.
Africa, you don't got to do that, man.
You don't gotta
It's
do it.
automatic. They treat you with respect that you deserve.
And it's interesting. I say this all the time to people, man. You know, and it's the C word, culture. You know what I'm saying? Culture. Like these people have culture that's pretty much been, you know, it's been going on for who knows long, and it's still a part of their everyday life. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
know,
you're right.
culture.
There's a
We
chain
don't
of
have that
command.
culture.
There's a chain of command
Uh-huh.
of elders that still exists in Africa. You know,
Exactly.
problem is that this modernity is even eating away at that because you have people who got money and they travel back and forth to England and America and France, et cetera, and they're elitists. So their behavior is atrocious. And so they disrespect even elders who have less money than them. You know what I mean? Their behavior is crazy. They act crazy. They act like they're in a soap opera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, get back to the point that we were talking about how I ended up there. So, you know, the elder invited me. We went back there, and while we was there, we learned so much, and we had our experiences with the diamonds and all of that. You know, I've been in the diamond mines, and I learned a lot about the diamond mines. I learned about the actual truth about the resources in the continent, that the resources is not owned by white people. So this is a myth that we in America thinks that, oh, white people own everything. No, they don't own shit in Africa. Africans own it, and the paramount chiefs and the ethnic groups sit and own this land.
Yeah.
The governments regulate things that people do exchange-wise with foreigners.
Yeah, outside of it.
Within the countries, the people are really not the average person, but the people in charge are really in charge. They may be mismanaging things, but they're really in charge. You know what I'm saying? And there are some of the people who are in charge are trying to do the best that they can, and some of them are not. You know what I'm saying? But so, you know, our excursions, traveling all around the country, I was just blown away everywhere I went. Everything that I saw was just like, wow, this is amazing. It's amazing. The people are beautiful. You know, what's left of culture is beautiful, and there's a lot of work to be done as well. But, you know, what really blew me away and made me really stay there was the fact that the family that hosted us was such a beautiful family that they adopted us. And when I say adopted, I mean literally, I got adopted. So now they're actually my family, auntie, uncle, brothers and sisters. You know, they treat me like a blood relative when I come there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like they're my blood relatives, and I will always feel that way because they gave me something that I've been waiting for 500 years.
Yeah.
And they gave me a resurrection.
Yeah.
And a return to my potential. Because before I went there, I wasn't doing this kind of work. I was selling SuperbBioSeamoss. I was, you know me, man. I always been Black America and on this like revolutionary, like we got to do this and we got to do that. But I wasn't active because I didn't know how to be active.
Yeah.
There was people who were in America who are activists, and there's a lot of stuff going on here in America, but a lot of it is spinning its wheels because if it's not connected to anything, if you're not going anywhere with it, then where is it going?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of mythology about potential here in America, and there is no potential in America. America for Black people is good for one thing: get something here that you can liquidate and take it over there and invest in something that is actually real, that you can actually build a future for your race and for your people and for your family bloodline. Go back home. You know what I'm saying? That's what's there. That's what the potential of America is. What can you use America for to go back home?
It's like it's exact. It seems like it's the opposite going on right now with the cycles of time. Meaning, it's obvious it's a decline in America overall, and then you see a resurgence of. See, it's interesting thing. I gotta say this is that was it National Geographic did a hell of a job showing Africa and making them look like all the stuff you've seen in them black and white movies when you got the bulu bulu people with bones in their nose and people living in huts, and people don't even, if you just Google cities of Africa, you know what I'm saying? If you see what's really going on over there, and the brother just said Sierra Leone, it's not as advanced as other places, but you see these other places in Africa, and because of what you normally see with the propaganda over here, you wouldn't even believe you think it's a damn lie. But it's over there right now. It's just as plain as day as New York City, just as Atlanta, whatever the case may be.
You got internet cafes. You can go get some Jordans. You can smoke you some weed. You can do it. Everything you can do everywhere else in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Big flat screen TVs, man. iPhones. They got everything everywhere.
Cleaner and better.
2022. That doesn't mean everyone has it, because you do have people that live in huts. But guess what? They live there because that's what they choose to do.
Exactly. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it. Shoot, people live in huts.
What is what exactly? I mean, if you got what you need, the reason that we live the way we live here in America is because we have change of climate, and they don't really have that. They only got summertime, and then it's raining. And if you've been living naturally all your life, then what more do you need than that? That's why they live a longer, healthier life, more wholesome life, because they don't have so much chemicals and stuff that they deal with. They have a more organic existence. People will walk on the ground with their feet on earth. You know what I mean? It's less concrete, less electrical interference. When you go to sleep at night there, you're gonna get some good sleep.
Hey, good sleep.
You know what I mean? You're getting your fish out of the water, fresh out of the ocean, with no pollution. You know what I'm saying? Where I stay in Sierra Leone, once I go out, literally like 15 minutes from where I live, I go to a place where there's zero pollution. They don't have smog. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the
That's beautiful, man.
City. And literally, it seems as though something about the nature contains the smog in that space. It doesn't spread out. Literally, it stays locked in that space. It doesn't actually spread out because of the volume of the nature. You know what I'm saying? It's almost amazing. You know what I mean? Like literally, like you can go 5 minutes down the road and it's so pristine. The air is so clean. The water is crystal clear. You can see 20 feet down to see fish swimming at the bottom, and it's amazing.
It's like nature's in quarantine in the jungle.
Right. And then 10 minutes you could go that way and be like, the music is booming, everybody's hustling and bustling in the city, selling what they selling and doing what they doing, motorcycles, cars, you know what I'm saying? So it's a very beautiful existence to me. Now, how I came upon this Gullah Geechee information, my first interaction with it was with a sister there who is part of at that time, she was part of a governmental organization that was doing restoration on some historical places that are relevant to us. In other words, there's some slave forts and things like that in Sierra Leone, and she was in charge of the restoration. So she was the one who kind of gave us our first little taste of the information about that interaction between Sierra Leone and the Carolinas. You know, once I met my good brother, Chief Fodia Jamu Mansoray, who is from here in the United States of America, from Pennsylvania, who has repatriated back there. He's the one who really broke it down for me, and really is still to this day giving me an education on that, because he's a Gullah Geechee. He's actually a Gullah Geechee chief there now, a Gullah chief there in Sierra Leone, as well as a Mandinka chief there. They made him a chief as well, and he is the West African coordinator of the UNIACL at this point in time as well. And we talk about, see, that's what I'm saying, being allowed to sit where you're supposed to sit, you know, in your reverence, and get the respect that you deserve. You know what I'm saying? The brother is a very knowledgeable brother. He did his homework, his due diligence, put that work in all his life. And, you know, being a brother from the hood, from the streets, you know, here in America, people may not take you so seriously. But, you know, when you're going back on that side of the planet, when you do what you're supposed to do and you're capable, that's when you're given your reverence and
your props, that
you're sitting in. So no one could take that away from you. Why? Because the ancestors have deemed it so.
Yeah, they put you there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they put you there.
Your work put you there, and also your backing.
You know what I'm saying? There's no illusion. Like, America is a land of illusion, so there's so much hocus pocus that you can show somebody the truth, and they won't believe it, even if they see it with their own 2 eyes.
That's so true, man.
They're so confused. Well, I know it looks like the truth. I know it says the truth, but I thought this other thing was the truth. People here are hyper confused. You know
it's like the spell of sleep in America specifically is just like so many layers and coats of it on everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's an amazing. See, you know, somebody told me 10% of Americans have passports.
Have what?
Passports.
Yeah.
You know, and I said that explains a lot.
Yeah, that's real. And you know, the wild thing about America is that people think they know everything and they don't know shit.
Man,
America, I'm going to say the most, because to be honest with you, I find this in a lot of places that I go in, and because I've traveled a lot, you know what I mean? I found this in, to be honest, most places where people don't leave where they're at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the bad thing about America is that it's the arrogance that people have, because part of the doctrine is there is no place that's better than here. And that's absolutely ridiculous, because to be honest with you, Europe is better than America.
Oh, yeah. I lived in London. I know.
Italy and France is better than America when it comes to quality of life. They eat better food. They work less. They got a better quality of life. They live longer. So what makes America so great? You know, drugs and alcohol is all America got. Violence. You know what I'm saying?
And people never expose
murder and violence the way that people here in America have. You know,
and people have never. Most people
each other for no reason. In these places, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
most people have not. Sorry.
You know, everywhere.
Well, I was just going to say that most people haven't been even exposed to, or even have in their complete mind everything you just laid out about all the pros and cons. They haven't been even exposed at all to. There's just a few things that you just talked about. You know, just healthcare. You know what I'm saying? Food. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to. I lived in London for like 6 months, right? You don't go. Well, you know when I was back in the day when I was longer, like I talk about in the book, but you don't go to no daggone place in London and buy a gallon of milk. You ain't gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna find all this crazy stuff all this stuff that we see in America. It's so different in so many places outside of this country, man. Y'all got to get out and travel.
That's why they
got to get out and travel.
Health issues as well. You know, they don't have obesity. They don't really have obesity because people are not eating food. Go to the supermarket here in any, the least educated people buy the most shit that they don't need. And then when they're buying food, you can go to down south, the Midwest, even in America, when you go to the hood in the city here in New York, wherever, go to the worst hood and go to the supermarket and see how people shop. They got 2 shopping carts filled up, falling over. and there's hardly no actual food in the whole.
No food in it.
No,
Chemicals.
no actual vegetables at all. Everything's frozen in a box, in a can, in a bucket, in a bottle, in a vat. People here eat like pigs, and they eat garbage, stuff with dyes, colors, and then they wonder why they're sick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not being judgmental. I'm being honest, and I'm just trying to show the dysfunction, as if we're going to run out of food and we won't have enough. And they're eating like 50 pizzas a week. It's like, it's too much. You know what I'm saying? It's the idea you have to eat 3 meals a day. That's ridiculous, because most places in the world don't eat that. They're not eating that much. They're not piling up stuff on their plate like it's Thanksgiving piles on every time they eat. So to the point where you can't even walk by yourself. And you have to have breathing apparatuses. They don't have these things in other countries.
Exactly, man.
America is a very sick place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Here are
It is,
sick,
man.
very, very sick.
All
Mentally,
the values that we have like put on stuff like, sports, all these different things that have nothing to do. People got to realize that when you come to this planet Earth, this is a school. You got to be investing your time and in self and become a better person. And all this glitz and glamour that they have in these big cities and stuff, it's distracting from why you're really here. Just like the brother said, man, those people in the huts we just talking about, you know what I'm saying? They might live in a hut, but god dang, they might be in one of the oldest damn secret societies on this planet. That just you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They can still.
Guess what, though? But dig this: you live in America. Most people live in America. They don't own shit.
Yeah.
That person, not only do they own where they live, but they are part owner of a vast amount of land.
Yeah, exactly.
So, see what I'm saying? So
yeah, man, it's true, man. Yeah.
Part of a ethnic group, you are part of the owner of what that ethnic group owns, which is a region of land. Where if you want to farm, you can grow your own food. You want animals, you can get your animals and put the animals on your land. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to beg nobody for nothing. Poverty comes from cities.
Exactly.
So when people they all start migrating to the cities. Now you're in a city, and now you have to figure out a way to exist with no resources.
Yeah, exactly.
People who don't have skills, they move to the city. Now they're doing menial tasks to survive.
Survive.
A tin shack, above a sewer. When you was back in your village, you breathe fresh air every day.
Yeah.
Then you woke up and there was roosters waking you up. You got eggs from them birds right there. When you wanted chicken, your chickens is running around right there. When you needed fish, the fishermen came with the fish, and then you traded something for the fish. You know what I'm saying?
Dropping off the tree.
People doing what you were supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So people run away from that to the city, trying to do something they saw in a TV show or in a movie. For what?
But, I think that goes back to what we were saying earlier about how different we are. You know what I mean? From these individuals that thrive off of the illusion and all the glitz and the glamour of what that is given, as opposed to the people in the hut. You know what I'm saying? That truly see nature for what it is and are connected with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a huge difference. It's a huge contrast, and it's a huge difference in a mindset of it, as opposed to people that are connected to nature, as opposed to the people that are willingly living inside the matrix. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I mean, and it's very fortunate and blessed when you come across people who actually is like, nah, I don't want to go to the city. No, I don't want to go to America. No, I don't want to go to England. That's a blessing. It's usually the youth that want to escape because they don't want to do hard work. And it's understandable because in all reality, man, it's in the 21st century, everyone should have electricity and running water and sewage should be taken care of. So that means, guess what? The problem with the black race, in my opinion, with our race is that we have been tricked out of accountability and maturity. We've been tricked out of for 100 years or 200, 300 years. So we're convinced that it's someone else's job to come along and build us something, do something for us. That's why we allow the Chinese or Indians or whoever to come into a country filled up with able-bodied men and build a road. When you can build your own damn road.
Yep.
And not only can you build your own road, but they're using you to build a road. What do you the hell do the Chinese need to come to your country to build a road for? You can build your own road.
Exactly.
It's not
Yeah.
like they bringing all the materials with them.
Yeah. Or the knowledge, anything. Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
To build your road. I
Mhm.
learned this. I think we talked about this before. I learned this. The second place I ever traveled outside of the United States of America, right? The second place.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was the second place, right? The second place I ever traveled was Thailand.
Mm.
So when I was in Thailand, right, I was staying on this island. And on this island, you know, these white people had came onto the island, and I'm just like, all right, you know, okay, you know, I'm there with the white people. Like this time there's not a lot of black people traveling around the world going to live on deserted islands in Thailand. So of course, I'm always the anomaly. I used to be, at least I used to be. Now there's black people traveling everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. I see them everywhere.
So you doing what? You going? Even my mother was like, you can't go there. You can't do this. You should do that. It's dangerous. But I be everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm in the island in Thailand, right? These white people come to this island. They're telling the people who own the island, who living on the island all their life, that they need to build a school for their kids. And they're like, we don't want a school. Like, no, you need to build a school. You need to build a school. Oh, the kids, they got to go to school. They got to go to school. It'll have a better life for them, according to the white man's way of thinking about it. But think about this. They live on a beautiful island in paradise. And when I say paradise, I'm going to say this. Thailand, to this day, Madagascar is the most beautiful place I've ever been on the earth. The second most beautiful place I've ever been on the earth is Thailand.
I remember you telling me about that. I remember you telling me them trips.
Mythology, I mean, the beaches there is, I saw stuff there that I never seen anywhere before. I've never been anywhere else that I saw everything in the water is glowing. Hey. I haven't seen that yet in my travels in Africa yet, where all of the fish and plants are iridescent and they're glowing. That's how minerally rich and potent the environment is. That everything is glowing, lighting up, pink, purple, green, orange. The fish, the jellyfish is literally lighting up underneath the water on its own. And so we're there, and these white folks is trying to convince these people that they need to build a school. So they're like, all right, we'll build a school. And they're like, yeah, we'll give you the money. So they give these people money, right? And you know what they did with the money?
What?
They put the money in their pocket, and then they ran into the woods, into the bush, and cut down some trees, and they built a little school, right? But I'm looking at the whole thing, tripping out, thinking like they could have built a school anytime they wanted, because they didn't use the money for anything.
They didn't go to Lowe's and Home Depot.
Down trees. That's why when you go to visit the island, you got a place to stay. They did that before you even got there.
Yeah.
They know how to cut down trees. They know how to build houses.
And they know how to, Ain't nothing new.
To do that.
Yeah. Ain't nothing new.
So it's a psychology thing that white people think that they got to tell everybody what to do, and people, it's a psychology thing on the part of the other people who think that white people are qualified to tell them what they do, and you should listen to what white people say. People who believe the things that white people believe. Truth. You know,
in a foreign country.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we deal with that even in what we're doing, and this is no disrespect to none of my brothers and sisters who do stuff. But I'm gonna say this: we need to go to Africa and take the resources that we have here and invest it in Africa. We need to build factories in Africa, not for Africans, but for all African people worldwide. To become dominant in manufacturing and in production. Not because Africans are so poor or stupid that they don't know how to build stuff. Because when you go there to visit, everything that's there, they built it. So that means they already know how to build things without your help. And I never met I haven't rarely met a black person in the United States of America that knows how to build a well. But now I know at least 100 black people that's going to Africa helping Africans to build wells, which for me is ridiculous. And I personally think that it's a gank move, because if you're stupid enough to give them money for it, then they're going to take it. Because if you don't know how to build a well, then what makes you think that they need you to help them build a well? They know how to build a well. You ain't going there with some well technology for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. Something new.
Where you think they get the water they drink now?
Yeah.
They could build a well anytime they choose.
Mm-hmm.
And if they choose to not build a well, then so be it. Maybe they're not thirsty. That's my perspective.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go and do these things that they already know how to do for them. Maybe
So
sometimes we're going and we're doing it as a gesture to show, hey, listen, I want to give you something so that when I come, you understand that I'm serious. Okay, I understand that. But we have this philanthropic feeling that we get from doing these things that I don't think we need to do. I think we need to figure out what really needs to be done. And we need to work in unison on figuring out the real and true important things that need to be done.
okay.
Not these little tiny things that don't really make a dent
Yeah.
in
They make. Yeah,
it's not
I'm with you.
infrastructural at all.
I got. So let me ask you a question. Like when you were in Africa and et cetera, didn't start to dealing with mindsets. Did you? And because you're talking about the stuff that you saw, that the laziness, different things, et cetera. Do you see that also an influence of Western civilization in these people's mindset that put them in a state? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think is the root of it?
Can you just be a little more when you say the
Yeah,
root
yeah.
of
I'm saying, like, for
what
example,
though?
how much influence in these different places you see in Africa as far as having a Western mindset of or an influence of colonialism. You know what I mean? How much of it is stunting their growth? That's the more specific question.
I think that's the number one thing stunting the growth. I think it's two things. One is
Mm-hmm.
colonialism and
Uh-huh.
the adherence to colonialism of the leadership, the well-to-do, and
Mm-hmm.
the educated are extremely colonized in their way of thinking about and doing things. Not all, but way too many. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's that, and then there's the tribalism thing. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
tribalism thing is another issue. And when I say tribalism, it ain't like in the movies Ooga Booga or you know what I mean.
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but when we say tribalism, we mean it's kind of like in America, you got Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah.
That's like a form of tribalism. So let's say if you go to Alabama or Arkansas, just automatically everybody's like Trump, 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 Trump,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
even though Trump never did shit for them. But it's
Mm-hmm.
tribalism. They're like, the white tribe must
Yeah,
survive.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
their
yeah.
mindset. And you even got some of the black people there who are locked into that, even though it has no benefit to them whatsoever.
At all.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then when you come to an urban place like New York or Chicago or DC, everybody's automatically Democratic. Or
Yeah.
not Democratic, but they automatically voting Democrat. And they
Mm-hmm.
hound you as a black person. You got to vote like this because
Mm-hmm.
we got to go against them when at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
there ain't no we in them.
We are them. Yeah. It's the
We ain't
elite,
got to
goddamn.
do with nothing that these white people got going on. It
Yeah.
never benefits us at all,
At
ever.
all.
Like almost like Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football. How many
Mm-hmm.
times you got to get ganked? Now
No,
we got
man.
this idiot Biden in the office, right? And everybody's
Mm-hmm.
like, we got to get Trump out. We ain't got it. What we had to get Trump out for?
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't care about Trump. I'm not
Yeah.
voting for Trump. I'm not voting for Biden either. I ain't voting for
Yeah.
none of them.
It don't got nothing to do with me.
It's not gonna, it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
What
Exactly.
if I don't
Exactly.
vote? What if none of us vote? Oh, well, then white people make all the rules. They make all the rules anyway.
Anyway. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even if
Yeah.
you get a black person in somewhere, they're working with the white people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the
They
end of the
puppets.
day, they get co-opted and they start getting paid and they don't give a shit about you. Right?
You know, it's funny.
You had a black man as the president.
Yeah, about to say that. That's what I'm about to say.
Not one
He was one of the worst.
crumb of a thing for black people except
Exactly.
make black people feel some kind of way.
Exactly.
And,
That was good though.
Oh, but he was married to a black woman. That so what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So am I. So are you. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. Yeah.
That ain't helping us. That's his thing.
Shoot, look, the original devil was a black devil, so you know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about this. I mean, at least Donald Trump pardoned some rappers.
You know what I'm saying? Oh
I'm
man,
saying?
no, don't get me started, man, because goddamn, I saw a list of the stuff that Trump did, you know what I'm saying, compared to like Obama, like goddamn Obama still got what Gaddafi's blood on his hands and Gaddafi's trying to daggone, unite all Africa, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. It's just sometimes this foolishness, the foolish mindset. Not, and you know, excuse me, don't get it twisted. I don't think I know everything, and I'm not a scholar of any type. I don't consider myself as a scholar. I'm just a brother, and this is my opinion, not so humbly, about some of the things that I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But at the end of the day, I don't believe in tribalism amongst us. I believe be proud of whatever your tribe or your ethnic group, for lack of a better term, is. Wonderful. But guess what? It don't mean shit at this point, because at the end of the day, it's unify or die.
Yeah, I agree.
When I say it doesn't mean anything, I don't mean literally. I respect it. I respect all ethnic groups. But it's not more important than us unifying as a race so that we can become empowered. Because other than that, there will be no empowerment. You will not vote. You will not pay. You will not buy. You will not technology. You will not think your way out of this. It's not going to happen.
That's interesting.
Happen. There's only one thing that can make it happen, and that's when all black people, not every last one, but when I say all, I mean most, like all white people are not involved together, but all of them benefit from the white man dominating the planet, whether they like to admit it or not.
Yeah, it's true.
Benefit. They can go anywhere they want, and they can do whatever they want to do.
Anything they want. Yep.
Within certain realities, of course. And now the Asian man has put himself in that position as well.
Right next to it.
They can go anywhere they want, and they can do anything they want to do. When Chinese people go anywhere on earth, there's a Chinatown in every major country on the planet. And guess what? There's a little India in almost every major country on the planet, where Indian people got their own products. They make their own clothes, their own toilet paper, their own toothpaste. The same thing with the Chinese. So guess what? African people of the melanated hue, need to unify on that accord and have a united African front that we follow, that dictates how we behave and how people behave towards us. And that's that. And we need to unify our situation into one paradigm. In other words, the continent of Africa needs to be one country, one nation, and its children, which would be certain Black Caribbean countries and all of the Black people in the diaspora of North and South America, should automatically be citizens of this nation. And that would give us the power to vote and make decisions and come back and forth and trade freely as we choose. And if anybody ever tried to do a Sean Bell or a George Floyd, there would be consequences.
Repercussions. Yeah.
There would be repercussions.
You know, the interesting thing is kind of going back what you're saying as well about tribalism and stuff. And, you know, two things. I got to bring to the point, you know, bring this point up, is that, like, you're watching the movie Black Panther, right? When it came to to crown a king, all the tribes came together. They knew all the rules. They spoke, you know, of course they're speaking English there, but still they were, you know, but they came together under the C word again, culture, you know what I'm saying? And they came together, and that was a specific protocol that they had, you know what I'm saying? Right? Now, people think it's far-fetched that like the Black Panther, that something like that actually could have happened. But people have to realize that we had all this culture and this stuff until very recently, in a short time ago. You know what I'm saying? This has been a very short period in our time frame, and we lost all of this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's not as far-fetched as people think when you see everything that you were just saying. It's not that far-fetched, because we've been doing it for thousands of years. Millions of years, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying?
Since humanity, or whatever you want to call it, has been in existence, we've been doing this.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly right.
It's not far-fetched or ridiculous at all. Matter of fact, like you said, until recently, we were in control of everything ourselves. Yeah. Now, you know, I understand why people would be confused. One, because it's not because they don't know. Because if you say you don't know that this existed at this point in time, you need to jump off a bridge. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Of course, you know that we did all of this. Of course, every black human on earth knows that Africans built the
Yeah.
pyramids. And we don't even got to talk about that. That's what,
Yeah.
if you know what I'm saying. The problem is there was no union. There was no like the United Nations. That didn't exist. There was no need for it to exist because everybody was in their own spot, minding their own business.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So once Europeans who are feudalistic people fighting with each other up until the 1940s, matter of fact, they're still fighting with each other. Look, Russia is at war with
Russia and Ukraine. Yep.
I would have lost money to say that two white countries would have went to war with each other in the time we live in. That the white man would have allowed that. Now, obviously, they allowed it for some reason.
Yeah.
With to this, then we know. You know what I'm saying? Somebody sold somebody out somewhere that we to that information. But as you see, all Asian people didn't love each other. Chinese people and Japanese people and Korean people and Vietnamese and Philippines, they don't all love each other like that. But they have unions that protect them financially, militaristically. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna try to drop nuclear bombs on the Japanese today without any.
Good luck on that.
And the Japanese don't even have a militaristic force on that level. But guess what? If you tried to do that, all the Asian countries will ride on your ass. And so they're not going to have it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, how is it possible that we allowed the white men to kill Gaddafi? When Gaddafi was working towards the absolute and extreme benefit for the black man on
Africa,
the earth. That shows you the colonial loyalty of some of our traitorous people. For that to take place, there has to be traitors. And Barack Obama is a traitor to black people on the earth.
I agree.
He should not be revered. He should be exposed as a traitor. He's a traitor.
For what he did.
Because what he did was the worst thing that a black man has ever done. Find another thing. You know, the people who betrayed Marcus Garvey, that was a pretty big betrayal, because what Marcus Garvey was doing was something that was astronomically beneficial for the black race. After that point in time, you have little factions of people who did stuff that didn't affect the whole race. But what Obama did affected our race for generations and generations to come. And it's absolutely the most traitorous thing that a black man, in my opinion, has ever done.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about it affected all 2 billion of us.
Yeah.
It stunted us for a very, very long time. It was a serious, serious deficit for us.
You know, it's the biggest okie doke ever, because we all know all these presidents. Now we got to be real about this as well. All these presidents, all they are CEOs of this corporation in America. So, you know, Obama sat down at his meeting, and whoever his bosses were like, guess what you have? You know what I'm saying? The luxury of doing good old what they call him, Barry's what do they say, Barry's, whatever his name is. Guess what you have the luxury of doing? And Obama was like, what? You get to kill Gaddafi. It's like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that's real, man. Like these people, man.
And so
marching orders. You know what I'm saying?
To be honest with you, if that just shows you the ignorance of Americans, because the black people in America are Obama, and at the end of the day, that just shows you the trap of the American mindset.
Exactly.
This space here called America, and yet no thought goes outside of this space.
Exactly.
Thought is allowed to enter into your consciousness from outside. You just got the little bit of shit they got going on here, the stuff they got going on TV, Steve Harvey, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Circulating here, and you think this is important and this is what is really going on, when at the end of the day you have no clue what's going on in the world. You have no clue what the white man is doing to you and your children, and what he's propagating, to the point where you've given up all your power and control, to the point where you don't even know if you're a man or what the difference between a man and a woman anymore.
Yeah,
How did
exactly.
you go? Imagine if your great grandmama was still alive.
Exactly.
Try to tell her that, oh, grandma, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. She'd be like, get your
Yeah.
ass out of my
Yeah,
house.
slap you in the face.
What's wrong with that boy? Because is great grandma stupid or are you stupid?
Yeah, exactly. You
Come
know.
on.
Yeah,
You know,
it's interesting you say
if
that
you
because
can't even say what
I
you
don't look at
believe.
the I don't look at the boob tube at all. Like I only got it. I only got TVs, but I got to go on to look at the news and stuff, whatever the case may be, and I always see these stuff, flashing up. Oh, Biden, he said he's going to do this, and he said he's going to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at him falling off bikes, barely can say complete sentences and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, you know, my personal opinion, just from things I look at, it's like, okay, they must have some real serious dirt on this cat to sit up here, you know what I'm saying, to put the words in this cat's mouth for all this nonsense that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And like you said earlier, at least Trump, from what I saw, Trump was doing some things. I don't care what nobody said. Trump was doing some things. I know black folks that said, you know what, I'm voting for Trump because I'm making money. You know what I'm saying? But my point in all that, what I'm saying is that, you know, going back to the Obama thing, nah, man, it's beyond the, like you said, the veil of all of this, and you got to see this and look outside the box, like you were saying.
Yeah, it's
None of
hard.
this shit, whatever you see in front of you now, it's sixfold deeper, or even more so than what's really popping.
And I'm gonna say something, beloved. I mean, really, me and you've been chopping up and building for a minute now. And the
Hmm.
thing is, this is just to show you that people like us, we've been doing this,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's
exactly.
why, it's kind of shocking almost that after all this time, after 58 years, I mean, I've been talking this thing since I was a teenager.
Yeah,
So I'm saying, all right, now I'm 58. Let's say, I got 5% of lessons when I was 13.
yeah,
That's 45 years. So you mean to tell me that niggas didn't get smarter in 45 years?
yeah.
That you still go into church or whatever it is that you practice and you have gotten no knowledge,
Hmm.
actual, real, human,
Yeah.
realistic knowledge aside from
Hmm.
that after all this time? You're
Exactly.
still as dumb as you was when you
Yeah.
was a teenager, but you're just older now. You
Hmm.
still believe the same things. You have done no research. You don't
Hmm.
care. And what I learned a long time ago was this. It's not that people are really that dumb. It's
Hmm.
what it is that people are really that. I'm trying to find the nice words, but they're really that careless, and they're
Mm.
really that you know um, afraid, and they're really that you know uh, uh, um, what's the word I'm looking for? They really have that little sense of responsibility for their own offspring. Because
Hmm.
if you really have a sense of responsibility, you have to understand that you have to be accountable. You have to know so that you can tell them the truth. Because if you keep on coming up with this bullshit, what's going to happen is that bullshit that you're giving them is going to mix with the bullshit of your enemy, and your enemy is not playing games. I'm
Mm-mm.
sorry, and
Hmm.
I don't mean to be an asshole, but we
Hmm.
have enemies. And I'm not trying to be the bad guy, but hey, if I am, then I am. I don't got a job, so I can't get fired.
Hmm.
The white man is your enemy. I'm
Hmm.
sorry. I had white friends most of my life.
Hmm.
People who claim that they love me and they care about me. And guess what? Hey, I care about you too. But you know what I really love? I love my people.
Hmm.
I love my people more than I love anybody else. And I
Hmm.
have to tell the truth. You know why? Because it's important. And if you don't know the truth, then you cannot be moving in the right direction.
Hmm.
And that means you're leading your children and your bloodline and your offspring down a path of destruction. We have to stop lying. We have to stop cooperating. We have to stop going along to get along because it's destroying us.
Hmm.
If you don't believe me, go look outside. And now you can see the degeneration of our
Hmm.
youth has
Yep.
gotten to the point where
I
they are
agree.
they are so out of line that they're all on, not all, but a large majority of them are on all kinds of drugs. They are considering depression, not because of depression, because it's part of the culture. The conversation is part of the culture. Because guess what? Ain't no damn difference in poverty today than it was in 1940, 1950, 60, 70, 89, 2000, blah, blah, blah. And depression didn't make people go kill themselves back then. It didn't make people jump around and put tattoos on their face back then. They didn't have an option to do that.
They made blues music.
People around them would not accept it. The adults were behaving as adults. The adults said, I am accountable for what goes on here.
I agree.
You can't do that here. But now people got into the white way of thinking about things. They said, well, we can't tell that to our children. I don't want to tell Johnny that. I don't want to make him feel like this. We can't spank them. We can't do this. We have to say, we understand. No, we don't have to understand. You're wrong. You can't do that. No. And if we have to give you therapy or tough love or whatever we got to give you, then that's what we got to give you. But you will not do that here.
Again,
that says this: nothing can go on in the community that the men do not allow. I always say this. And that means if there's some shit going on around here that ain't supposed to be going on, what's going on with the men? Are there any men left? And if there are, what you waiting for? What you waiting for? Every man to be walking around with a dress?
Yeah.
What we
again,
waiting for?
It goes back to the C word again, man. Like we just keep on saying, man, it's culture. We over here, there is no culture. In the culture, like I write my book, I say that I have a line. I say that America only breeds for black people, Negroes and niggers. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Man, I gotta admit that. I gotta go along with that one, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this though. I think it breeds one more thing as well. It also breeds revolutionaries.
There you go. Okay.
Revolutionary.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Revolutionaries can actually end up being Negroes and niggers, or dead, or hurry up and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. You know real talk, man.
So, you know, it's
so,
real out here, man. This is real.
It is, man.
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. So that's why I don't have no problem going back to Africa and getting rid of my identity as a black person in America and just using it for, the milk here, wherever I can, and take it over and be like, here, take it all. You know why? Because at the end of the day, we're proving ourselves unworthy of respect.
Yeah.
And you say, oh yeah, but we've been through this. I mean, damn, I'm 58 years old, man. I've been here too.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've been cuffed up, roughed up? Shit, I did drugs. So what? It's no excuse.
Yeah.
Church ain't gonna save you. The mosque ain't gonna save you. God ain't gonna save you. You gotta save you. It's up to us to save us. It's up to men to man up and be men and do what men are supposed to do regularly.
That's it, man.
Wants all his children walking around confused, so be it. But we cannot allow our children to move like that.
That's it.
We can't allow it. And if we allow it, then we have failed them. And I don't care who don't like it. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or arrogant. I'm just keeping it 100 because somebody got to say it.
Yeah, I agree.
Punks, and we got to speak up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say salute to the brother Kevin Samuels and rest in peace, because I don't agree with every way that he said what he said, but the points that he was trying to get to was recalibrating and re-regulating men's mindsets of how what they allowed to take place on their behalf. You know what I'm saying? The dysfunction that we have considered as normal was set upon us by our enemy. If you trace it back, it was set upon us by our enemy. It's because and we allowed it to be mixed into our stuff that we were doing. And obviously, ding, 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 after all this time, look, it ain't working. It ain't working. It didn't work, and it's never going to work. So we need to get back into our positions that we're supposed to be in. And when I say our positions, that doesn't mean men are supposed to be bossing women around. It just means that men hold the position and women hold the position, and we work together and unify our positions to make sure that our offspring are in their position. And that's what we're supposed to be doing, just like Asian people do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that some people got crazy shit going on, because all that crazy shit is tied to money. The people who got money will allow anything to happen, because that's what allows them to fit into the white man's money thing.
Yeah.
You can look at a guy like Kanye West and see now he got money. Look at all the fuck shit that he does and that he's allowed happen in his life, because he ain't have no daddy. And nobody be like, yo, bro, you ain't supposed to do that. That's crazy what you doing. No, we got too many things going on. Somebody got to speak about it, and I'll speak about it. I don't care. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't get fired because I don't have a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if I got one and they fired me, then I go get another one.
Yeah.
If they fired me, I go get another one. If they fired me, then I make my own job. You know, at the end of the day, you don't need nothing from these people. They have nothing.
It's an illusion. It's all
50
fake.
million black people in America. How we can be independent if we choose, just like Chinese people in America are independent of the white man's reality. Some of them choose to engage in the white man's system, but the masses of them, they don't give a fuck about what the white man.
They don't.
If you look at Chinatown, and they got their own reality. They got their own banks, they own money, they own toilet paper, they own toothpaste, they own everything. All their resources come from China. And guess what, black man in America? There's more of you in America than there is of them. So if they can do it, and you got more resources than they do, then why can't you? You got more people, able-bodied people than they do. You got a bigger workforce than they do, because like I said, there's 2 billion black people on the earth. And in Africa itself, it's at least 1.5 billion people, of which 70% are under the age of 30. Do you understand that there's black young people just wandering around the streets of Africa with nothing to do? Walking around selling oranges, you know, graduating from college with nothing to do, because we, as the grown people, won't build factories and build and build businesses for them and put up towers for internet and launch our own satellite into space and create our own automobiles. How you got a continent where all of the raw materials come from that you have access to, that you can go get anytime you want?
Yeah, right in your backyard.
You won't build a car, but you want to go buy a BMW or a Tesla. Make your own damn Tesla.
Yeah. It's that mindset. So I'm gonna kind of bridge into something I think is very important, because we were talking about it earlier, because you were breaking it down how you got something going on. And what was the name of it? You said it was the Pan-African Party. Is that what it's called?
The Pan-African Party.
Okay. Yeah, please break it down.
We're gonna get in this Pan-African Party, right?
Yeah. Because I love this concept that when you were breaking it down. But go ahead.
How I got involved in this type of stuff was, I was, just like I said, in Sierra Leone over there, going back and forth, and somebody said, "Yo, do you know about this brother Fode?" And I was like, "Nah, who's that?" He said, "Yeah, it's another brother from America, and he moved to Sierra Leone, and he's from the hood too." And I was just like, "What?" I was like, I was going back and forth. It was probably like, my 3rd year back and forth. It's like, nah, I don't know nobody like that over there. And, and he's a rapper too. And I was just like, nah, I don't know about this guy. And so they gave me his contact on social media. And I hit the brother up, and he was like, yeah, I'm over here in Sierra Leone, blah, blah, blah. So we was going back and forth social media. And the way I am, I like to, I want to smell your breath and see how your handshake feel. So I said, "Yo, bro, you mind if I call you?" He said, yeah, hit me up. So I hit him up, and we start talking. And when we start talking and building, man, I was like, "Yo, this dude right here, he's the real deal, man." We start really chopping it up, and I was really, we was air likes. And so, I was like, "Yeah, I'm coming back to Sierra Leone. I'll be there in December." And he was like, all right, well, holler at me when you get here. And, usually when people say, "Yeah, I'm coming through," most of the time they don't show up. But I showed up, of course, because I always show up. And, so I'm there. And when I get there, I hit him up like, "Yo, I'm in Sierra Leone." He's like, "Oh, you really?" I said, yeah. Matter of fact, what are you doing right now? And he was like, "Oh, I'm just, I'm not doing nothing. I'm chilling." And so I said, "Yeah, well, come through. We having a party at my house." So he came over, and my surrogate sister was having she was getting married, so it was like her engagement party. So we was having a big feast, and so he came through with his wife, with my sister, and you know, we hit it off right away. We start chopping it up, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, you know, you got to come through, and I'm gonna show you the ropes. I'm gonna show you around, blah blah blah." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna call you tomorrow." So hit him up the next day. I go through, I come see him. Wow, you know, dude's real cool, man. We start chopping it up, man. He introduces me to some people in his organization and starts, you know, filling me in all the good work that he's doing. And so I joined his organization, the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone, right? And the Black Star Action Network International. And so I became a member of that organization, and you know, I pledged myself to, you know, be a recruiter for the organization and inform people about the organization. And like, yeah, I know a lot of people who will be interested in, you know, being involved in this work that you're doing, blah 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 blah. And so I got on it. And so when I got back to America, you know, I run through different feeds and all of these WhatsApp groups and stuff. And if I find people who got their area code and the same as me, I hit them up because that's how I meet people that do this work. So I saw a brother, and I had a few different people hit him up. And then I met this one brother from Senegal, and his name is Brother Jumai. And he was involved in the Pan-African Federalist movement. So when I said, "Hey brother, you mind if I call you?" I gave him a call. We started talking. He was an elder, and when he started telling me his story, I was blown away. I was like, wow, you know, he was like affiliated with many different powerful organizations, you know, throughout the decades. He was roommates with Thomas Sankara, and he was responsible for helping to build these coordinating committees for the Pan-African Federalist Movement, which is an organization that's working to unify Africa and create the United African States. And so I joined that organization, and I became one of the coordinators for the Pan-African Federalist Movement here in New York State. From that, you know, being involved in that organization, you know, we did a lot of wonderful things. I'm still involved in all of these organizations. But, you know, moving with organizations, there's a lot of rules and regulations. And sometimes when there's elders involved, they don't move at the same rate that we move. They don't have access to what we have access when it comes to people. They don't have access to the technology. And when you have to go through them, it can be very stagnating and stifling for younger people. And as I began to recruit people into the organizations, people began to complain to me like, "Yo, we're trying to move and it's moving too slow." And I was like, so, you know, myself and a couple of other brothers who are also in the Pan-African Federalist Movement from different states, we had a powwow, and we was like, "Yo, let's do our own thing too, as well as being involved in these organizations. But we need to do something that's effective, immediately effective, that we can tap into the energy of the youth." When I say the youth, I don't mean little kids. I mean all of us under the age of 60 that's into all of the things that's going on earth now. We have command of technology, you know, cryptocurrency, finance, you know, art and music, etc. You know, world travel, repatriating, all of this stuff that the people and the culture is into now. And some of these elders move very, very, very slowly when it comes to engaging, because they're still moving like it's the 70s, and it's not. So we decided to create our own mission. And so I came up with the concept of the Pan-African Party, because in my opinion, Africans need their own political party. And when I say our own political party, I don't mean local political parties. Like if you go to an African country or Caribbean country, they got political parties, because none of those political parties are actually truly effective, because they're usually rooted in some kind of feudalism, tribalism, or colonialism. They're not Pan-African centered, which means that they're not really going to benefit our people in the long run. So I think that we need our own political party that is international and multicultural, that speaks for all of us and to all of us on certain specific points that will help us to create the reality that we need. Because there are no political parties on the earth that I know of that's really speaking to this, that's engaging the people where they need to be met, whether you're into finance, whether you're into technology, whether you're into culture, whether you're into art, music, whatever you're into, it has to speak to that. And the Pan-African Party is designed for that purpose. And so it's an actual political party, but it's also a social organization as well, because that is how we as a people interact and engage with each other socially. And so this is the whole premise of the Pan-African Party. And it's a work in progress. It's something that we just set off about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And we're slowly building through our podcast and through our social media platforms. As you can see, you got the Pan-African Party right there, Facebook group. And we're welcoming all of our people planetarily. You could be in South, East Asia. You could be African in the Caribbean. You could be an African in South America, in Brazil, in North America, in Canada, in America, wherever you are on this planet as a Black melanated person. Pan-Africanism is the way to our liberation from colonization and oppression from all people, whether they be the Europeans, the Asians, or whoever else.
And I agree. I agree. No, I agree. I agree 100%, man. Because you just can't keep on doing the same thing with the same formula, expect a different result. That's just the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, it's gotta be shake. You gotta shake things up and create things. And that is so true. And it all starts with like everything that you really just talked about. It really starts with a lot of things revolve about moving forward. About a lot of stuff we talked about tonight. Being a part of the overall formula of moving forward, man. You know what I'm saying? Understanding the mistakes that happened in the past, understand where we are now, and when we're going to make change to go into the future. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying? So,
And so
but
this is everybody going to do what they can do, man. And at the end of the day, man, I dedicate my life to this, man. And I could be out getting mad paper. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to get working on getting mad paper. You know what I mean? But this is so important to me that I'm willing to sacrifice my time and my energy and my life force to help to uplift and elevate and resurrect and reconstruct Black African civilization. And this is not a fantasy or some far-fetched idea. This is a reality that we have to make our reality. We have no choice. So if you're married and you got a Black wife or a Black husband and you're making Black children and you care about their future and the future of your grandchildren, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then you have no choice but to open your eyes and wake up and get involved. You can be a Christian or a Muslim or whatever you want to be, but make sure that your spiritual practices relate back to your reality.
yeah, your root seed. Yep.
You're
Your
a
blood,
Black.
your root seed. That's
right.
true.
You are an African. You are not an Arab. You are not a Chinese, and you are not a European. You are not white. You are a Black man or a Black woman. Then this is for you. If you don't love yourself, okay, we understand maybe it's not for you. But if you do love yourself and you love your children and you believe that they deserve a better reality, then you have to be engaged in something. You have to be involved.
It's true.
To benefit for them on this planet. And I suggest that every Black human being get involved in some type of movement or organization. Get your whole church involved. Get your whole mosque involved. Get your whole temple involved. Whatever you're into. You could be a Hebrew Israelite. You could be a Muslim. You could be Kemetic. I don't care what you do, but make sure that it relates back to you being a melanated being and having to unify with other melanated beings to have protection and reverence and position on this planet. Because come on now. Come on now. Come on now. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense for us to stay in the dirt forever.
Yeah, for real, man.
For us to stay abused forever.
Forever, yeah.
Shot down, abused by the police forever. Considered as lower and lesser forever.
Yeah.
Children have to grow up being not loving themselves forever. That
Forever, yeah.
women have to not love themselves forever, to the point where they all walking around looking like they're insane with purple and green and pink hair and 2-foot eyelashes. We have escaped reality, thinking that we can escape reality.
Yeah.
We have lost our minds.
Yeah, I agree.
Sickness and disease.
Yep.
Our everyday practices is unnecessary.
No
we have to resurrect ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's why, I said, name the segment, the resurrection and reconstruction of African civilization, because that's what we need. And I got that. I got that saying from the elders that I spoke about, Tahaka and Tunde. I believe that was a mission that they set forth back when I first met them, and they had given that to a couple of young brothers, but they didn't do nothing with it. So I'm doing something.
No, it's interesting that you say that, because like every single one of my master teachers that I studied under, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if it was, Dr. Delbert Blair, I don't care if it was Dr. York, I don't care if all these master teachers, you know what I'm saying? They were all like, just you got to do for self and kind. That's just that it all starts there, man. And once you lose that, it's quite simple, just going back to the basics. You know what I'm saying? Just the basics way of how we used to be naturally. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, man, this was an amazing chat. I told y'all, boy. I told y'all. I know. I see y'all were hanging around. Chat. I told y'all this brother gonna come with fire, man. He's he's next level on so many levels, man. And I appreciate this brother. This the way. Whenever he'll tell you when we get on the phone, man. This is how we talk all the time, man. Until one of us gotta.
Man, for hours, man, because I respect.
Until we gotta go. One of us gotta go.
You know what I'm saying? I respect you, my brother, man, because since that's how I met you too. You was on the same mission, man. You was making it happen through your music, and I was making it happen through my music. Yep. And I thought at that time that was the mission, but I got off that mission because once the frequency changed and nobody wanted to hear that type of consciousness, and I realized that, hey, man, I'm trying to force people to listen to some conscious, and they want to listen to something else. But ahead of our time, because now look at the condition of the world.
Exactly.
Everything we spoke about came true.
That's true, man.
Look, when that white man was kneeling on George Floyd's neck, every song I ever wrote, that's what it was about.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We warned you. We told you what was happening and what was going to happen, to the point where we become so emasculated that we would sit and watch. I used to say this back in the days, I'm not standing here and watch a white man kill my brother.
Yeah.
I would kill him first, and then
put on instead of putting a videotaping it, right?
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say that, man.
Instead of offering assistance to our brother being murdered right before our eyes, as if these 2 or 3 white men, whatever they are, can hold back 20, 30 black people standing there screaming and hollering. We've been so used to being subdued that they don't even have to support us anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But we'll attack each other in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye.
Yeah, or they slap each other on the in front of everybody at the Oscars, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So this level of cowardice has to stop. And I'm not saying I'm some kind of tough guy, man. Like I said, I'm 5'7". I weigh 150 pounds. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? My Uzi weighs a ton.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, that's what it's all about, man. We black men, and it's time to stand up and represent ourselves in the proper manner, in the manner that our ancestors paved the way for, man. Do you know how much our ancestors put in, man? My great-grandmother was harder than half these niggas out here, man.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I salute all the brothers and sisters out here that's doing the work. And, I send out a call, a shout out, a call to all the brothers and sisters that's sitting on their hands. You know what I mean? Stand up. Don't be afraid. We here together. It's 50 million just black Americans, or 48 million just black Americans. That's not even including the Caribbeans and continental Africans. It's a lot of us in America. And if we stand together, nobody can stand against us.
I
And
think
we
that it's
have to
very
do that.
key and important to something you said earlier. We were building on earlier. Um, is that like you just well even, all throughout it, but you were just saying something recently about like always being in the gutter forever and etc. People, all you people that's listening to this, what I'm saying, you have to understand if you are a melanated individual, male or female, right? And we've seen the experience in a short period of history, all this debauchery, all the whole world hating us, and all this making us look crazy, and all this kind of stuff. I promise you, those days are done. You know what I mean? The forces of this universe in nature is starting to get back. It's making change now. You know what I'm saying? It's making change to the point, and all you have to do is embrace that change and start to move forward with it. And you don't have to be scared. You know what I'm saying? You got the universe. I promise you got the universe behind your back. You know what I'm saying? Just do right, man. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do right. But just saying that, you know what I'm saying? Again, it was a great build, brother. I can't wait to put this up and
Hey,
spread the
man.
word. And
Yes,
all
sir.
y'all people out there, please.
Thank you for
Um,
inviting me, man, because you know what? If there's one thing that I like to do is I like to talk, and I like to talk about this. And so I want to say, man, if you want to get at me, man, about the CMOS, you can hit me up, chrisblackamerica@gmail.com, or you can call me directly, 646-704-7148. You know, I work with some brothers. We import CMOS from Africa, from Tanzania, and we have the finest sea moss on the planet. And I
mhm.
also do herbal infusions with sea moss. I've been doing it for a while. I do health consultations for people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I will help you to help yourself. Uh, and on another note, man, I just want to shout out, man, to all of the wonderful, beautiful brothers and sisters out there that's putting in the work. Salute to the brothers here in the United States of, and sisters in the United States of America doing this work. You know what I mean? To my team in the Pan African Party, man. You know, my man Tay, brother Sam, and brother Putu. You know what I'm saying? Putting in that work. So shout out to Mama Nabantu, to Baba Jiwe, Jumai. You know, my brother, brother Asakile, brother Charles, man. To my brother Fode in Sierra Leone. Um, to my queen Jamila, to my mother and father in the ancestral realm of my grandmothers and grandfathers, and also, man, to Dr. Uwa Osamiri, who's going to be on our show next month. To my brother Supernova Slum, who's going to be on our show this up and coming Wednesday. Um, to brother Julius Malema in South Africa, who's holding it down, and if you ask me, should be considered to be the first president of the United African States, and either him or Dr. Ari Khanna, man. Those are my two favorite, movers and shakers on the continent, man, who's really serious about this work and liberating us as a people and getting our continent squared away and our race squared away, man. We need to stop playing games, man, and understand that this is not a game. This is not entertainment, man. Turn off the TV, man, right? Who said that?
Mhm.
Dead Prez, man.
Mhm.
Public Enemy. We got to
Yep.
get back to some real music too, man.
Yep.
If you want to trap out, make that music about something besides killing your brothers and sisters. If you want to drill out, then drill out against the real enemy. Stop killing your brothers and sisters out here in these neighborhoods, man. Protect your people. Man up. That's what men
Mhm.
do, provide, and protect. Protect your women and children and your brothers and sisters.
Mhm.
It's time to man up.
That's so true, man. Woof, man.
You can
This
tune
is
into
this
our
is.
show also, the Pan African Party podcast. It is 2 p.m. every Wednesday,
Mhm.
Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live. Boom.
Yeah. That's
And
what's up, man.
salute to you
That's.
too, brother, for having me on your show,
Oh
man.
yeah, man. Shoot, man. You already know. I I
You
like to
and
go through my
you
list of
and my man
the
Salute.
good.
You got to really, man. I hope you still sharing them tunes, man, from back in the days, man. This man right here,
yeah.
right here don't play, man. He's a dynamic brother and a great musician, and he got crazy bars too, man. So the Pan African Party is putting out a quarterly mixtape, and we're gonna get you on that mixtape, my brother.
Hey, I'm gonna be with you.
You know what I'm saying? Me and you got to do a tune together, man.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
Talking about that, like, I don't even know how long, man. Way too long.
I don't know, man. That might crack the internet in half if we do it.
That's what we're gonna do. Matter of fact, that should be the name of the song. Crack the
internet. You know what I'm saying? Crack it in half.
Crack it in half. Yeah, I like that. So, matter of fact, man, you got some beats. What's good?
Hey, man, we talk. You know what I'm saying? But we might have to just keep it real and stay with the liveliness of it all, man. We beats is cool. You know what I'm saying? But
crunchy,
you know how we come from. We come from the.
That's right. We do keep it crunchy, man.
Amps, bass, drums. You know what I'm saying? Mics, keyboards. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That sounds like a nice idea, man. Yeah, but yeah, man. I actually I ended up taking all that old music I did, the Moon 9, Atomic, Independent, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff I did, all that stuff is in the airways right now, man. So anybody can hear it. You know what I'm saying? I put it all there. I had to make a point, man, to put all that stuff out there because you said earlier, man, we were ahead of our times, man. You know what I'm saying? Like back in 2000s and stuff. Even I'll tell people the time, man, I'll be listening to some of these teachers, man, that we listened to in the 90s. I'm like, God damn, they were like time travelers. They talk about all the stuff that's happening right now. And we were doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? When it came to the music.
Man, acting like it wasn't going to happen. And it happened. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I've always been, radical. But it even shocked me, some of the shit that's happening right now, man. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
A few things shocked me, man. I mean, COVID shocked me.
Yeah.
COVID shocked me. How they
flipped
COVID.
Me too.
That was the first thing that shocked me.
I agree.
One thing that shocked me, but it didn't shock me. I was just like, oh shit, oh wow, that was a slick move. From back in the days, 9/11 was the first slickest thing of my lifetime that I saw the white people do. Hocus pocus, mumbo jumbo, 3-part
yeah.
Obama was the second, and COVID was the third. COVID was the top dog of all.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! They just killed millions of people right in front of you, and got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a slick one.
And we that's man. It's
and now they're trying to come with some next curveball monkeypox crazy shit.
Yeah, the monkeypox.
It's like, come on, man.
I know, man.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta really stop playing around, man, and get ourselves together, man. We have to
get ourselves together and step out and step out of it.
Be like, oh, you gotta watch it. Be like, no, we're all right. We're good. We got our own doctors. We got our own hospitals. We straight. You know what I'm saying? Well, these fools running around with like hundreds of thousands of dollars of jewelry on. Come on, man. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
You know how much money you making from wearing that jewelry? Nothing. You might as well take that money. 20 of y'all get together and build a hospital.
I'm with you, bro.
Build 10 hospitals around the United States of America, built by Black entertainers.
Exactly.
Put that money up, and guess what? When you put the money into the hospital, it comes right back out. That's an investment.
Exactly.
It's like real estate.
We gotta have that mindset. But we do have a few of us that do, there is hope. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. There is hope, and things will be changing. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing it every day. As bad as it gets, we're making moves forward, man. Might not be all seen right now, but like you said, you can't be in the dirt forever. That's not the way this was all designed for us. So
that's true, brother. You're right. You're absolutely right.
But that's man, that's again, check. I put the brother's email here. Please check him out. He got a lot of good things going on, man. And if you would do the honor, down in the future, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you and some of these other brothers you got come on the show. We can all build, and you know what I'm saying? Just keep on spreading the message.
We'll do that anytime you invite us. If you invite us, we coming because the brothers that I'm working with, man, are actually really, really highly intelligent brothers who are really involved in a lot of really amazing things, which is why I've been very fortunate enough to be engaged with them. They're very well read, well dug into all of this Pan-Africanist work, You know what I mean? One of the brothers is actually from Liberia, and he goes
Mm-hmm.
back and forth and he does stuff here and there. Brother Sam is in D.C. and he's a he's kind of like he's a very reserved, quiet dude, man. But he's sharp as a razor, man. Really brilliant brother. He's definitely the kind of brother, man. That's going to be a great elder one day. You know what I'm saying? And then we got
Yeah.
my brother Taynov, man. He's like a futuristic man, smooth. You know what I mean? Man, these brothers got a lot of potential, man. You know what I mean? Geniuses. And I'm just, some young looking old guy who's very fortunate enough to have them to lean on to help me to say what I want to say. You know what I mean? And so
All right.
I appreciate them and I appreciate you too, bro.
Indeed, man, and spread the word already, because give us some time. Let's build on that one. When we can make that connection, man. And let you know, and I'll be happy to come on your podcast. Whatever, we just share the love, man. So, all
Okay.
y'all, please, chrisblackamerica@gmail.com. Hit the brother up. CMOS and everything that's going on. And I'll say, as always, do peace to the fam and all tribes unite. You know what I'm saying? Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast.com. You know what I'm saying? Check out the book. You know what I'm saying? Polka
Yeah,
Dot
man.
Rabbit Podcast.com. And we will see y'all next time.
Bless up, bless
Peace.
up, bless up, bless up. Salute. Black power.
That's it.
It's party time, baby.
All right, hold on. Go ahead and end it. Yeah, Ma. 1 second.